Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. You heard of this game as the newest roguelite, taking the world by storm. Excuse me? I was so excited to go to the item room, I didn't even look before I used Dad's key. I really thought we had a chance to make it out there. Okay, it's fine. It's honestly fine. Just drop Doctor's remote when you get a chance. Dad's key is interesting, and we took half a heart of damage. And in doing so, we learned a lesson. The lesson is always look at the composite of all of your things before you move on, you know, before you act. You always want to be abreast of the situation before you act. You don't want to paralyze yourself through analysis, but you want to at least be aware of some relevant factors, you know what I mean? Speaking of which, there's a lot of relevant factors on this run. One relevant factor is our... how did we get out of that? Is our speed stat, which is very low. And it's very low because Kidney Stone is a speed down. Yes. I don't know why either, honestly. I just want to dampen the fun of these interesting items. Okay, it's just a little bit of salt coming through early. That's to be expected when you start with 0.7 speed. Pretty bad on the rate of fire, you know, DPS sort of side of things as well. Not a whole heck of a lot of major positives here early, but that's okay. Here's a positive. I was talking about how Tomal, hello my John, had a little bit of an eye infection. Happy to report my son's doing fine today. No eye trouble, having a good time. Interesting. That's an interesting choice. I don't think Nodleaf is good enough to be like our instant take, but it is kind of tempting. I'm willing to take a stab at this. I don't think you're good, Fly. I think you're just... I mean, we're spending a lot of resources on this, don't get me wrong. I really don't want to walk it back. Just give me some money, please. I mean, Nodleaf, really, it's almost like Slay the Spire, you know? I want damage, unless we're getting an orbital from the boss. I don't really care about the existence of Nodleaf here. I could have gone Butt Bombs, but it just seems so minor. You know, to get Butt Bombs. Sure, we get 5 extra bombs, but that really only helps us, like, right now. I'd rather get something that helps us, like, long-term, but, you know, to be fair, it's kind of like a beggars can't be choosers sort of situation. We spent a lot to get, as of right now, quite literally nothing. That's okay, you know, it's Isaac. And Isaac, it's almost like the opposite of Ascension 20, if you're watching any Slay the Spire. I did not see this invisible man until just now. Gustavo Fring, hanging out in the shadows, making moves. It's the opposite of 820. On 820, I have no confidence whatsoever that we're going to ever get what we need on any given run. And then in this run, I'm like, dude, I got all the confidence in the world we're going to get what we need. So I'm just hoping, perhaps naively, that you're going to hook me up here. This could be tough, but just keep yourself on the 45s. You know the deal. Gotta pick your moment when you're fighting this guy. You just don't want to get caught by that brimstone laser. Good stuff. Use your enter the gungeon skills. Sneak between the shots. Don't let the fact that our shots are red confuse you, by the way. This is what we wanted right there. Just because they're red shots does not mean they're good shots. Common misconception. I am going to take a stab at this key. Do it in 2 parts. You go in, then you come out. Great. Oh, we were so close, I thought. We got Mystery Sack, which is okay. We did use Dad's key here, and it didn't find anything for us. We used it here, no second secret room, which means in my world, I think this is our second secret room. and it was completely useless. But let's not get super negative. We want to at least take this fly item. Friend zone. It's not that bad. I actually thought this was the one that just goes around the outside of the squares. But I think it's fine. It's, you know, it's a little bit spotty, because, I mean, we've improved our rate of fire, thankfully. That's really good. HP is still spotty. Obviously, speed is not spotty. It's actually just bad. But everything else is fine. And, again, if we can't get through a run like this in Isaac, for the first couple of floors at least, you know, do we really deserve our position as the third biggest English-speaking Isaac content creator? I don't know if that's true. Didn't the Game Grumps do an Isaac episode? If that's the case, that pushes me down a spot for sure. I ain't ever done a national tour. International. They were in Vancouver once. By the way, you might be like, NL, you fool. If you take a nod leaf, now you have an orbital to go with it. Well, here's the thing, Buster. If I had taken nod leaf, we wouldn't have gotten the orbital. I just say, I don't know if anybody was saying that. People, whenever I do something like that, people always go, NL, nobody's saying that. Trust me, I've read the comments. There's somebody saying everything. You know, most people are not saying that, but there's usually one person saying everything. Popping out of the woodwork to say the thing that you thought no one would say. And you know what? Sometimes that person's right. And sometimes they hated the man because he spoke the truth. Sometimes that person, to be realistic, I think that oftentimes when people say very silly stuff, it's it's a DUI situation. They're driving under the influence. I was trying to think of what to use for D. They're like watching under the influence. I've talked about it before, but you know, when I'm watching my stream, it's hard to audit chat. It moves relatively quickly, and then on top of that, I'm focused on giving banter. But when I watch other people's streams, sometimes, you know, you hit them with a what face 2 times in a row. You go, that was 2 weird comments from this person in a row. And then you start thinking about it, and you're like, pretty sure this person's under the influence of they're under the influence of the drink, perhaps even the wacky tobacco. You know what I mean? I always wonder what percentage of Twitch chat is currently under the influence. I think it depends on a couple of things. I think it depends on what time it is and where your audience is, because obviously, you know, that's going to affect what time zone people would, you know, be intoxicated. And it's going to depend, you know, what kind of, you know, stream you run. If you run a stream like I run, it's a little bit snarky, adult content. I think you're more likely to get people who have maybe knocked a couple back before the stream. If you run a stream that's a little bit more family friendly, you know, you probably got an audience that's mostly sober because they're underage. Hold on. This is a big moment. We got a good setup here on this run now. Dark Judas thankfully carries a speed upgrade with it. I think we'll pop this right out of the gate just to get enough money to maybe purchase one more thing if it's on sale. Stop shooting. Why are you shooting so much? You know what? I want to peep this. Had a feeling it would be there. Nah. Okay. Forget that. Let's go for broke here. I want this deal with the devil to give me 3 items. That way, we can pick all of the items up and be killed, respawn as Dark Judas productively. Get that all stats, well, maybe not all stats, all meaningful stats upgrade, and for God's sake, stop having to use my orbital fly to do so much damage. Hey, I'm not policing your right to, you know, quiet enjoyment of your own home however you see fit. I'm just saying. Crosses the mind from time to time. Okay, well, we definitely, you know, we like Guppy's Paw. And we like Lord of the Pit. It is a speed upgrade. I think we're just going to walk into this. We'll come back to life as Dark Judas. And all of a sudden, our stats look friggin' golden. We can fly. We got 7 damage, 7 rate of fire. I'm here to promise you, that's huge, that we will absolutely never, sure, let's just grab this. We'll absolutely never be able to buy anything in that shop. We'll head down to the next floor, and let me tell you, dude, we're at 10 minutes for our first 2 floors. That is a pretty, bad situation. It's indicative of things not going right, but hey, if it took us an hour and a half to get the first 2 floors to take us to the point where we feel confident in the rest of the run, that's what it takes. That's Isaac. Anyway, now we can start talking about non-Isaac related stuff. How was my day today? It's good, brother. You know, I'm a little anecdote dry, to be honest with you. I was at the gym today. You know what? Actually, I'm not that anecdote dry. Now that I think about it, I forgot the anecdote that I had today, which is somebody, when I was in the gym this morning, I talked about it on the NLSS, but I didn't really get into it that much. Somebody brought their baby to the gym. Now, before you say, what's the problem with that? I do want to point out, this is a very common gym rule. Don't bring your baby. Some people are going to be like, of course. Some people are going to be like, I don't get it. Like, as long as they're taking care of the baby, who cares? Look, it's like no running on the pool deck, right? You know, you might be like, I can run and not slip, but some other people, they bring their baby to the gym, they're not paying attention. You know, there's heavy iron plates and, you know, people jumping up and down all over the place. You know, it is not a good place for a baby to be. But I was watching Malf stream, and I was, you know, doing my sets, and I heard a baby cry. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's not a baby. That's Malf complaining that he lost a gun and escaped from Tarkov. I'm just kidding. It was a real baby. I had to think about it for a second, because I was like, surely that's not a baby. But it was. And the reason I know that it was is because for a while I just heard the crying. But then, like, maybe 10 minutes later, a young lady walked around, like, this blind corner in the gym that I couldn't see behind, and she was carrying a basket with a baby in it. I don't know what you call it, you know. You know the thing you put your arm through and you carry it and it's got a baby in it? I don't know what to call it. It's like a stroller, but it doesn't have wheels. Anyway. And I'll admit, originally I was gonna hit her with a look that was like, hey lady, why are you bringing your baby into the gym? You know, it's enough to just be safe in general, but then to have to watch out for a baby, okay, I'll just get hit, that's fine. It adds a certain extra wrinkle. You know, I'm not saying I'm gonna, you know, put the baby in jeopardy. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like the safest environment for an infant that, you know, doesn't know what's going on. But then I looked at her face, and it looked like she was having the worst day of all time, so I didn't say anything. I wouldn't have said anything anyway, because I'm a coward, but I didn't even give her a look. I was just like, you know what, maybe this lady knows better than I do. Maybe she just absolutely had to get a work in today, and then she was supposed to have a babysitter. The babysitter canceled on her. Nah, who knows, you know? Maybe her mother-in-law was supposed to come over and she canceled on her, and then it all like fell apart, and she's like, I gotta get the yoga session in. You know, I'm not here to judge her. In fact, I shouldn't have judged her in the first place. But that being said, you probably should not be bringing your baby into the gym. That's it, though. Apart from that, people are like, hey, now you got any gym stories? Just the same gym stories, you know? I guess we're not at peak new gym goer hours right now. It's like summer's already begun, so people trying to get their summer body. They started a couple months ago, and then, of course, you know, myself, I was a New Year's resolutioner. So that's the other peak season, I'm sure. But it's just me and then this young kid who comes around and, you know, he'll do like a set and then he'll walk a whole circuit of the gym. Not really too many anecdotes. I think it's a lot of people, you know. Well, you could think, if you want to be negative, you could think that these people washed out of the gym. You know, maybe they're not working out anymore. I prefer to think that they've gone to work out at a farm upstate. You get it? That's the joke. Or maybe they were just intimidated by the masculine machismo that I was, you know, emitting on a daily basis. And they decided, you know what? It's not worth feeling intimidated down here by all that natural testosterone. Or maybe they moved. I mean, you never know. Could have gone to a different gym. I told you I was anecdote dry. I wasn't making it up. Dude, we're actually going to get on boss rush schedule, which is very surprising to me. And like, that's pretty much it. I'm just stalling for time. And dude, I got to tell you, I got one North Star, a Polaris up in the Crab Nebula. That is my, you know, occupational guidance system. I can't wait for the Super Mario Maker 2, dude. I know it seems like maybe the hype came out of nowhere. It's that rare hype that seems that much stronger because of the fact that I forgot that it came out so soon. It's like remembering that, you know, Avengers comes out in 2 weeks or something like that. In a way, it's almost like peak hype. Because if you're like, oh, it comes out in 6 months, you wouldn't get excited about it. It would sneak up on you. But it coming out now in like 2 weeks, it's all I can think about. It's like, man, I wish it was the Friday after next so I could get that dang old Mario Maker going on. But it actually has been like a few solid days of recording stuff. It's been good. Streams have been going well. It's nice to play Pokemon. It's a very casual game, don't get me wrong. I'll be eager to mix it up after this, but it's just a nice game to play and chat simultaneously. And unlike Resident Evil 2, the last game we played, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is not scary. Which is maybe a little bit less viscerally entertaining for the audience, but is a lot better for me, you know? It's hard to be funny and scared simultaneously. Funny and scary simultaneously. Oh, dude, it's one of my favorite genres. Horror comedy. I said horror comedy. You know, I think that being scared and being amused are, you know, they're kind of similar on the emotional spectrum, you know? It's like getting an audience for stand-up comedy, like, warmed up, you know? The main event, so I hear from people that I know that are actually funny, they never want to just come out there when the audience is cold. Or maybe, you know, somebody hit them with some news, like, just so you know, we can't validate your parking. By the way, here's Patton Oswalt, you know, like this. People are going to be coming in disappointed, and then you're like, you know, tell a joke, funny man. Nobody's going to be laughing. They're not primed. Well, we'll give it a shot. What you need is to be warmed up first. And I think it's the same for, like, for being scared. Like, if you were watching a... Ooh, I like that a lot. If you were watching a horror movie, but didn't know it was a horror movie until, like, 90 minutes in, and the first, you know, 90 minutes were, like, a romantic comedy, you probably wouldn't be scared if a big werewolf popped up. You would just be like, what? I don't get it. But if the movie spent half an hour building up the, you can't go in there, that's where the wolf lives. Oh, you've never heard of him? And then they start throwing you like a little, you see a shadow slinking in the forest, or you see like a little claw scrape across the dirt. Then you're like, dude, I don't ever want to see this wolf. It gets you in the mood, you know, to be scared. Go for it. I'm unafraid. Come on, dude. Come on. It's good enough. I'll live with it. I think comedy and... I mean, it's not comedy and tragedy, but I think, you know, comedy and fear, you know, they're kind of like... They're close together on the spectrum. It sounds wrong, because what I was going to say is you got to get the, you know, the audience or the player aroused first. But just know that I mean that in the state of, like, you know, biological arousal, not like... herp derp me horny. I didn't even like saying it, but I had to say it in such a way, like the least provocative way possible, in order for it to be, because I know, you know, even if I, you know, if I use the taxonomical, anatomical correct verbiage for it, there'd still be like one or two people out there that's like, yeah, say it again. So instead, I gotta trip backwards into the naming convention. You know what I mean? Gotta make it as unsexy as possible. Not just for YouTube, but for the Google DeepMind parental guidance is advised stuff as well. Like, you know, all my NLSSs for June have been and will probably continue to be demonetized. It's true. You know why? Because some engineer, who's probably at least 100 times smarter at programming than I am, made an image processing algorithm. It goes over every thumbnail that's ever picked for a custom thumbnail on YouTube, and maybe non-custom thumbnails as well, just in case. And it scans it for sensitive material, which I'm sure is probably like, you know, a sophisticated algorithm. And I guess it sees that mine has too much exposed skin, even if it is a matte painting. So it goes, no, that's not okay for advertisers. Meanwhile, what it actually is a parody of like one of the most noteworthy pieces of art of all time. But oops, that's the algorithm, you know? Now, I'm happy to keep posting them, don't get me wrong. And I'm happy to use the thumbnail, because the thumbnail slaps. But I'm just telling you. I do think a lot of YouTubers, and I've said this even as recently as the last episode, I think they are kind of like, I don't want to say unfair, but I think they play up, you know, quote-unquote adpocalypse stuff in order to influence public opinion to be more on their side. Maybe it, you know, maybe it's motivated by their own occupational anxiety. Of course, I get that same stuff going on too. That's why I went back to school as well. But I do think they play it up a little bit sometimes beyond the level that's actually authentic. But, you know, it does happen for sure. And, you know, especially if you, I don't talk about controversial stuff, but if you have any kind of controversy in your videos, like it's a wild time to be on YouTube. Dude, why am I trying to get the boss rush? Okay, never mind. We're trying to get the boss rush. Hook me up. Please. 1 kidney stone charge is all we need. We're not gonna make it. Unless, I always forget, does Dad's key open it? I think I always think it does, and then it doesn't. Correct. It's okay. All we missed out on was a red chest. That's fine. Anyway, I don't want to talk about the inside baseball stuff, mostly because I just find it, like, kind of boring. I like talking inside baseball with other people, even if it's on video, because then it'll be, you know, might be interesting. Bring multiple perspectives, but you know my perspective. Wah. Other people complain. The only complaints that are genuine are when I complain. Wah. Other streamers do this. I'm not like other streamers. I'm a cool streamer, so I do this. You know, you get the idea. You can't make fun of yourself. What are you even doing here? By the way, your parking will not be validated. I still don't really know what validated parking means. I pay for parking at a number of institutions. Some of those institutions allow me to, they give me a refund for the parking that I paid for when I provide them with my parking ticket or receipt. Is that what validated is? Does it come from a different era? Is it like where there was always going to be somebody manning the gates? And then you would have to show them like, hey, check it out. Ned Flanders Leftatorium validated my parking, so I'm free to leave. I don't know, back in the era when you actually had to talk to other human beings to accomplish this stuff. Yera? Hagalaz. Ansus. I mean, we definitely... Black Rune is immediately good. And I think certainly we will Black Rune White Pony. It's actually touchier than I thought it would be HP-wise here. That gave us a range upgrade, which is basically a slap in the face. And I think we'll take Yera with us from this point onwards. This is a great time. Like, we found the exit so early on this run. Which is, I mean, half of the run, like the run time of this video was the first 2 floors right now, which is kind of comical, but we're not guaranteed a win. This has been a lot of our runs lately. Some of them have admittedly coalesced into greatness pretty quickly, but a lot of them have been like, hey, you know, you're going fast, but you're not necessarily guaranteed victory here. That being said, I don't really think we benefit from exploring more of this floor. We might want to put ourselves into permanent Polaroid invincibility. That hurts. Now I think we definitely benefit. I even thought about it, and I was like, do I really want to take this? It could be a health down or a bad trip, and then... Oh, well. I actually think that... Oh, well, first off, this is actually probably... Can I say something controversial? This might mean more to us than getting 4 extra chests on the chest. Just to get 2 to 3 spirit hearts right here. That's worth a ton. And if we were really using our brain, which I clearly was not... We also could have Yarra'd it. I don't really want to Yarra one of these, but... I'm going to be pretty protective of this rune, though. Because I don't really expect to get another one. Mystery Sack can pay out with a variety of different things. I'm realizing as well... You know, we are probably gonna want to fight Mega Satan. We didn't really use Dad's Key as often as we should have, so it makes good sense to, you know, use it for its ultimate purpose here. Pretty lucky we found the secret room as well. No guppy designs, but I'll take anything, dude. Anything immediately usable, so like Hierophant in particular would be really nice. The Fool, not so much, but I walked into the fire! That's just dumb. On my part, I want to be clear. It's not the game's fault. I'll rag on the game for the occasional, you know, retrovision pill, but, you know, the game is in the wrong substantially less than I'm in the wrong. My human brain, that was really bad too, substantially more fallible than Isaac itself, despite a vague air of superiority. It's the honest to goodness truth. So don't take damage here. I'm very tempted to just kind of get in there because I think, you know, Ball of Bandages is our best damage dealer, but I would advise against it. Always helpful when we can actually line up Lil Brem. So far, so good. Kidney Stone. As much as it annoys me that it's a speed down, we're over that, we're past that, and when it actually lands shots, it's worth a lot. That's okay. Stay frosty. Stay alert, stay safe. You guys ever have that? Well, I know you did have it, because we had different PSAs during the Say No to Drugs era. Canada and the United States. Only Canadians, though, will remember... Body Break with something and Joanne McLeod. Hold on. Body Break with Hal and Joanne. Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod. That's right. Body Break is a series of 90-second television programs dedicated to informing television audiences ways to keep fit and have fun. That was always it. Yeah. Way to keep fit and have fun. And they would always do stuff like, hey, you looking for a quick way to get some cardio? Park 10 parking spots further away at the mall. You'll burn 6 calories en route to the Cinnabon. See you next time. But I gotta be honest. When I was a kid, Hal and Joanne were just like these funny people on air. As an adult, I was watching it. I was like, dude, Hal's ripped. I didn't realize. Back in the day, I just thought all adults looked like action heroes. You know, when you're 6, you're like, yeah. You know, what does an adult look like? Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously. Sylvester Stallone is another example. So here's the deal, y'all. I don't wish to perish. So as a result, you didn't die, huh? As a result, I'm not going to fight Mega Satan right away. That was so close. Kidney Stone! Kidney Stone Ipecac, you're scaring me, dude. I think we need to explore. We will die against Mega Satan. You know, if you want to see me fight Mega Satan, just imagine a man dying, because that's what would happen. We might, and in fact quite likely will, still die. And that's very surprising to me, given that we just picked up Ipecac, but... No HP. A little bit scary. No! Oh, that's so devastating. We were in such a good spot. Well, we were in such a decent spot temporarily. That's a bad way to go, dude. I can't believe we should have yarred all the spirit hearts. For now, it happens, and it's on me. That's the hardest part. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. See ya.